around that can do that performance today.
Still got a bit of a roguish look on his face too, Hyperno. I thought at one stage there he was going to nip Harry White on the nose during that interview. He looks like an old rogue. And what a great racehorse he was. And there's a few pretty good ones running around in this too. The last here on Derby Day at Flemington as we cross back down to Peter Donegan and Jenny.
And as you do, Tim, I'll tell you what, there is the great omen bet of all time in this last race. That winner you just announced in the fashion competition before, Linda War, comes from Glastonbury in Queensland.
Aha!
Number one, Glastonbury, and there he is in the last race. So I wonder if that omen will come true. Omens on racecourses, Jen, do they work?
I don't think so, personally.
Well, thanks very much for shooting me down here, fine.
Look, Glastonbury, he stumbled at the start, at his last start at Moonee Valley, in the Moonee Valley Cup. Now, that race, as we've mentioned before, was very slowly run, and I don't think the race was run to suit Glastonbury. I gave him a place chance here.
So he won at Moonee Valley, then he came out and ran last at Randwick, then he won the Metropolitan, then he ran nearly last in the Moonee Valley Cup. So I suppose if you follow that form line through, he's due to win again.
Oh, possibly. Do you like him, Pete?
No, I don't, but I just thought I'd say that. Here That Bell is number 2 in the last race, and Stevie King is the rider here, trained by John Martin.
Well, he got well back and he moved up closer on the turn at Caulfield last start. He did get a slight check in the straight, so you know, he was going all right at the time. I gave him some sort of chance in this race.
Tristalove, number 3, needs to finish first or second to qualify for the Melbourne Cup here on Tuesday, and there's a very important change as we passed on to you before. It's not Simon Marshall. The late change is that Damien Oliver is now riding Tristalove, so she won't lack anything on the score of horsemanship. 2,500 metres, how do you think?
Well, look, I think she's got a terrific hope in this race. She has drawn barrier 19. That's about the only thing against her. She does love Flemington. I think she'll be up there handy, and she does have to qualify. So, yeah, I think she's got a very good each-way chance.
I thought Starstruck was a terrific run in the Moonee Valley Cup, Jen, in a silly run race where they walked around the first 800 metres, and she gave the leader probably 6 lengths around the turn top rating and got to within a length and a half at the finish. She was doing her best work, and she looks like she'll appreciate this trip and maybe even further.
Yes, her last couple of runs have been fantastic, Peter, and you know, you've got to leave her in there with a very good chance here.
The one you've chosen in the race is trained by the master, J.B. Cummings, looking for Melbourne Cup win number 10, and that is Gossips, to be ridden by Darren Beedman. He's a very fit-looking racehorse. I've been impressed with his track work throughout the week too. Yes,
I was thinking that this might just top him off for the Melbourne Cup, this horse. He's going very well. Whether or not he measures up, we'll certainly see today, and yeah, he's got to be there with a very good each-way chance.
Number 10 is Pax Matt Will, which looked the winner in the Geelong Cup, but just faded on his run in the last 200 metres.
Yes, yeah, he came from last on that occasion. He's pretty honest, this horse, and he's at fairly good odds. He's showing $10.70 there, the win, so he's probably there with a, you know, a rough each-way chance.
11 Pindy is also heading for the Melbourne Cup, won the South Australian Oaks in May.
Yes, 50.5 kilos here, so that'll certainly help her. She's a lot fitter now, and she's probably there with a place chance.
Well, you've obviously had a bit of influence here with the punters with Bar High. It was about 91 to 1, but it's in a bit from that now, number 12, and there he is. He's into $77 now.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, gee, I hope he
Pressure's on, Jen.
Yeah, it is. I'll be out of here if this horse doesn't run anywhere. Look, I just thought he was a good value hope. I didn't think he was entitled to be 90 to 1, but anyway, he has got a rough each-way chance.
OK, so maybe one at odds there for you in the last, but to sum up, Jenny Chapman, the final event on Derby Day.
Yes, I like number 6, Gossips, to win from number 12, Bay High, and number 3, Tristalove, to run third.
OK, well, I've gone for Starstruck to win from Tristalove and Glastonbury 4, 3 and 1. And here's the tote update on the final event with Dan Malicki.
Glastonbury, one of 3 greys in the race, $14.80. Hear That Bell, $12.30. Tristalove at $4.60. Starstruck, $3.90. Gossips at $6.40. Gold Sovereign, 32, booked at $32. Number 9, Saracen, $30.70. Pax Matt Will at $10.70. Pindy, $13.10. Bar High, $77. Coachwood, $22. London Bridge, $108. Major Decision, $31. Mistral Dream, 171. He's at huge odds, obviously. And the horses 17, 18, 19. Rentino, 81. Successful bid, 131. Air de Gloire at $97. Gossips has got a shadow roll on today, which is important to note. 2 Melbourne Cup winners have carried them recently, Kingston Rule and Vintage Crop. Gossips has got the shadow roll on. And I just noticed Jenny's tip there, Pete, was about $90-something before. It's now 76.
Yes, I think the punters have been listening to Jenny Dan, and there's Gossips, the top tip from Jenny Chapman going out. They start at the 2,500 metre mark, so it's at the 200, just like the Derby. They need to get a posse in. This is a big field here, so there'll be a fair bit of jockeying for positions going down to the first turn. They'll sort themselves out along the Maribyrnong side. By the time they reach the 1,400, when they begin that turn, they should have their positions, and then the 450 metre sprint to the finish, which for some of these runners is all important heading towards the Melbourne Cup. Starstruck from me, Gossips from Jenny Chapman, Hear That Bell from John Letts, and Roy's stuck with me with Starstruck, the runner-up in the Moonee Valley Cup in the final event, which is the Crown Quality, formerly the Dalgety, so it's got a new sponsor this year, Crown Casino, and I'm happy to say that Ken Carney, the Public Affairs Director of Crown, has joined us. Ken, nice to be associated with the race on Melbourne Cup Day, on Derby Day, I should say, no doubt.
Well, hopefully whoever wins today might be associated with Melbourne Cup Day. It's a good form guide to the Melbourne Cup, and it's one of the reasons why we wanted to be part of this this particular race.
Crown, of course, is involved with the BRC. You sponsor the Oaks on Thursday.
Yes, and we have a race, the second race, the next race after the Melbourne Cup on Tuesday as well. The Crown Sprint.
How's the patronage been of the Crown Casino since its opening?
Oh, good. Like the favourite today, we've been subjected to a fair bit of gossip, but the business is going well, and we're very happy with the way things are going.
All right, Ken, thanks for popping up and joining us, and good luck with your endeavours over the carnival.
Thank you.
Ken Carney, the Public Affairs Director of Crown Casino. As you can see, there's a little bit of a delay here with Sarah's Son needing some attention down there in the mounting yard. And just looking to see, it looks as though it might come out, this horse, the warning siren sounding. So they've unsaddled Sarah's Son, number 9, and we'll just wait for the official announcement before we take a break. Sarah's Son, number 9, to come out of the final event as he's led up towards the birdcage. The rest of the runners going down and doing their preliminaries. So Sarah's Son out. We'll confirm that when we come back on the other side of this break.
Tuesday, it's the big one. Join 10's expert commentary team for all the action and best tips for the race that stops the nation, the Melbourne Cup. Thursday, see all the fashion in the field as the ladies come out to play on Crown Casino Oaks Day. Then on Saturday, saddle up for the carnival finale as the excitement continues on Nissan Stakes Day. All the action of the 1994 Melbourne Cup live and exclusive from 10 a.m. Tuesday on Capital.
At the stalls for the last event on Derby Day, the Crown Quality, with many of the Melbourne Cup hopes having their last-ditch attempt to get into the Cup field. And, of course, you'll be able to see the Cup field later on tonight on Network 10 on Sports Tonight. Terry Kennedy's down in the betting ring, and we can find out if there's been any late moves, Terry.
Peter, the needy, the greedy and the desperate, all looking for the winner of the lucky last. Glastonbury, no money at all for the inconsistent galloper. Hear That Bell has had no support. Tristalove has been fairly well backed. The best back runner in the race, without a doubt, is Starstruck. A lot of good, intelligent money for Gossips. I'm on that.
Terry Kennedy, who falls into all three categories he mentioned there, needy, greedy and desperate.
Exactly right, and the intelligent money.
OK, they're filling the stalls pretty well here for the last event, the Crown Quality. There's Tristalove, just repeating, Damien Oliver in the saddle, replacing Simon Marshall. I think it may have been at the insistence of the owner, the managing owner, Rob McAnulty. And they're just about set, so we'll take you upstairs for the last time today to Dan Malicki and Gary Willis. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Peter. Group 2 Crown Quality, $150,000 in prize money. Gary, Gossips on screen. He's probably in the first race this season. He's had a real good chance of winning.
Well, that's right, and it's interesting, but started that long preparation. They're just about ready.
He moved up for the Crown Quality, the last event on Derby Day 1994. Sarah's Son, a late scratching. Light is on. We're all set. Off and racing. Glastonbury missed the start. Successful bid, was a little bit slow to begin with London Bridge. One of the first out, Pax Matt Will with Starstruck, Book, Pindy and also Gold Sovereign going forward. Then Gossips up there early from Air de Gloire. Next was Coachwood going forward. Around them was Mistral Dream, but it's out about 5 wide out of the straight. Tristalove being eased back with Rentino. Here that bell a bit worse than midfield. Behind them was Bar High, then Glastonbury. Successful bid going back to the tail of the field with London Bridge, and actually Tristalove has drifted back to last and out wide. Along the riverside of the track they go inside the 2,000 metres point, and Mistral Dream, one of the bolters, has assumed control. Leads a length and a quarter now. Coachwood was second, and going up quickly Gold Sovereign. Then came Booked fourth, followed by Pax Matt Will. On the inside, Pindy was sixth. 2 lengths away Gossips, and then came Starstruck, followed by Air de Gloire. Major Decision on the inside of Here That Bell, and then Bar High, Rentino, Glastonbury, successful bid. Tristalove second last, and London Bridge last of all, about 15 lengths off the lead. Going up towards the 1,400 metres mark, and Mistral Dream in front. Leading by 1 1/4 lengths to Gold Sovereign. A half a length away third was Coachwood. In fourth position, Booked, and Pindy was fifth the rail. 1 length away Pax Matt Will, followed by Gossips, now 3 wide on the outside of Starstruck and Major Decision. Then came Here That Bell and Air de Gloire off the track. Down on the rails was Bar High, followed by Rentino and Glastonbury, 2 of the greys together. Successful bid down on the inside, and Tristalove and London Bridge are the last 2. About 12 lengths would cover them up, and they go to the 1,000 metre point. Mistral Dream the leader. 1 length in front, Gold Sovereign second, Coachwood third, Booked was fourth, and Pindy fifth the rail. Then came Gossips in 6th position, followed by Pax Matt Will, who's starting to improve with Air de Gloire. Then Major Decision, followed by Starstruck. Here That Bell as they start to bunch up. Rentino was next, followed by Glastonbury, and then Tristalove, but she's 4 wide. Bar High well back into the field as they come to the turn with London Bridge. 550 metres to go, and they bunch right up. Gossips is making a long sustained run around the outside with Booked as they go up to challenge the leaders. Coachwood has got through to take the lead from Mistral Dream, immediately under pressure. Pindy works into the race, and so too does Gossips. Now Tristalove is running on, followed by Here That Bell and Starstruck. Down to the 300, Pindy in front of Coachwood, and then came Gossips. Starstruck, Here That Bell, and down the outside Tristalove, Pax Matt Will. Pindy in front, Starstruck is starting to reel it in. Coachwood on the inside, and Tristalove late from Gossips. Starstruck going to Pindy and Coachwood. Starstruck and Pindy. Starstruck with a head in front, and Starstruck's won it. Starstruck has beaten Pindy. A great go for third between Here That Bell, who had no luck in the straight. Gee, it was most unlucky. It's in a photo for third though with Coachwood and Major Decision. Gossips next, and then Pax Matt Will. They were followed home by Bar High. Further back then to Glastonbury, London Bridge, Mistral Dream, Air de Gloire, Tristalove, Booked. Then came Successful Bid, Rentino, and Gold Sovereign weakened out of it to run last. 2:35.7 the time, and you'll find Starstruck has just done enough to win. Horse number 4. Gee, great go. There were heaps of chances inside the 300 metre point, and this 5-year-old mare who hails from Perth has come over here and has had scintillating form through the spring, and she's got the money. Number 4, Starstruck, approximately $3.90 and $1.70. She was up in the first 8 or so. Gee, she can stay. 11, Pindy, fought on gallantly, $3.50. And third placing goes to number 13, Coachwood. Has just clung on to third, and expect about $5.60 for Coachwood. The unlucky runner was Here That Bell, has finished on their heels. Could not get a clear crack at them inside the 300 metre point, and his performance has been very good to just miss the place. Starstruck the winner. She'll go into the Melbourne Cup after victory today in the Group 2 Crown Quality. And let's talk to the connections of Starstruck with Peter Donegan.
Yes, and JJ Miller, a man who knows all about Melbourne Cups, is down here at the moment. John, congratulations, and she's made up for a couple of unlucky performances.
She's been very unlucky. You could say that she's been the unlucky horse of the spring, really, and well, at least she's got there. She's doing it the hard way, but she keeps on giving. That's the main thing.
The run just came for her at the right time, because there was a wall of horses in front of her, but Mark's done a good job to get her through.
Oh, well, he should know his job. He's well bred.
Now, as I said, you know all about what it takes to win a Melbourne Cup. Is she good enough to win on Tuesday?
Well, we wouldn't have brought her here if she hadn't been, and I thought she'd win the Caulfield Cup, and she was very unlucky in that. So we just got to hope that she pulls up okay, and if she does, well, she'll have a big chance.
She just keeps on whacking away at the end of the race, so the 3,200 probably won't trouble her that much.
Well, I don't think so.
All right, John, congratulations. Maybe it might be shades of 1966 with Galilee on Tuesday.
I hope so.
JJ Miller, John Miller, the trainer of the winner of the last event, Starstruck, ridden by Mark Miller. And let's go up to Dan Malicki now to sum up the final event on the program.
Good effort, Starstruck, a strong effort, and as was pointed out by John and also Peter, her form this spring has been most consistent, and when you look at her performances over the required staying distances, it is a first-class preparation for the Melbourne Cup, and it was a staying effort. She showed great stamina over the last furlong or so to fight off Pindi, whose performance likewise was very good. She's a Group 1 winner, Pindi, and there wasn't much between these two mares down to the post. You can see Coachwood just behind them, as if he had his head sideways, almost impeded for room. Here that bell was most unlucky. It'd be interesting to see whether John Maher will start him in the Melbourne Cup. He should have finished closer. Gossips ran a good race. The run would have done him the world of good. Tristalove, she got to the line like she couldn't stay. She weakened out of it in the last 100 metres. That was when the pressure was on, and she weakened right out of it. But it is 4:11.13. Another good run was Major Decision, who's run fourth and just missed out on a place. But his performance good as well, because he got back and ran on well. And they're the sort of performances you've got to look for when you are looking towards the Melbourne Cup. But the two mares have quinelled it. Starstruck from Perth and Pindi, trained by Colin Alderson, who could well have two runners in the Melbourne Cup. Pindi and, of course, Grass Valley. He's been placed in the race with horses he's trained a few times. 4:11.13 are the numbers on the last. Major Decision ran fourth. Fifth was Hear That Bell, and Gossips wound up sixth, and he whacked away like a true two-miler. Let's have a look at the head-on vision of the race over the last couple of 100 metres or so. In the white cap on the rails is Coachwood. The grey is Pindi. Starstruck is outside it, and watch those two horses. They bumped a couple of times. Starstruck's laid in on top of Pindi here. And have a look at Coachwood just get impeded by room. He had to turn its head sideways. They definitely came together. And it will be interesting to see if we hear more. You can see Coachwood, remember I said turn his head sideways. Well, he's been cut off by Pindi, who in turn has been taken in by Starstruck. That is very interesting, and we could well hear more after that, but they certainly got tight. You don't need to be Einstein to work that out, but it'll be interesting. 4:11.13 across the line, and fourth in, as we said, was number 15. Coachwood had his head sideways as they went to the post. You could see that in the slow-mo, but Starstruck has definitely laid in on top of Pindi, and they have definitely came in a horse. Starstruck probably had her head in front with about 30 or 40 metres to go when the interference perhaps was occurring, but we'll soon find out from the jockeys as to whether there could be a protest or not. We're only assuming, but you can have a look at this here, and they certainly got tight, and you can see Pindi's two away from the rail. Starstruck was three off the rail, and Starstruck is definitely the one that's laying in on top of Pindi. Pindi's trying to hold its ground, but you can see definitely there they've come across in front of Coachwood's racing, and well, it's definitely laid in, but that's Pindi's jockey on the scales there, Alfie Matthews.
Legs interference over the last 200 metres. The margin short neck by a length and a quarter. By 1 1/4 lengths. Second against first. Thank you. Weight is right. Third is 13. Shane Dye 50.5.
Second against first, the protest. Well, as we mentioned to you, would probably have to think there would be. Protest second against first, Alfie Matthews on Pindi against Starstruck Mark Miller. Alleged interferences over the last 200 metres. So Alfie feels that perhaps over the last 200 metres, his run was impeded by Starstruck, who was laying in. Across the line, 4:11.13, the protest second against first. Alleged interference over the last 200 metres. Peter, it was one of those races, I suppose it always is in a big field, and there's a few hard luck stories that'll come out of it. But as I said before, you don't have to be Einstein to work out the interference which has occurred over the last 100 metres. And of course, it is debatable as to what will occur out of it. I'm certainly not suggesting it's going to be upheld or anything like that, but there was interference.
Yeah, there certainly seemed to be contact there, Dan, and of course Pat Lawler and his merry men, the stewards, will sit down and view the videotapes from all angles and make a decision on that. And it is very important too to the connections of Pindi and especially Starstruck, which is now qualified for the Melbourne Cup. So it's an important decision for the stewards to make here. A protest second against first, Tim, in the final event. I suppose we knew it was going to happen, didn't we?
Yes, mind you, I wouldn't have thought of Pat Lawler as Robin Hood, actually. But yes, well, Jenny and I were just watching the monitor, and Jenny was saying it didn't look too good, but of course we don't want to preempt anything and what's going to happen down there. But, of course, it puts us in a bit of a spot. We can't give you correct weight or anything else until a protest is heard, so we'll just see what happens.
Rather a rare scene, Tim. We don't often see cameras going into the steward's room, but Pat Lawler has given us permission to take our cameras into the steward's room so we can see the early stages of what's going to happen here. And as I said, it is a very important decision, not only for the punters, but especially for the connections of the horses concerned.
Let us pre-warn you, it's doubtful we'll get a decision before we have to go this afternoon for your newses around the country. But we'll stay with the vision of Pat. But while we do, let's have a yarn about the day. Some very, very good performances, I thought. Jennifer, what did you think?
Yes, I thought Blevik's win in the Derby was exceptional. He did show his true strength there. Terrific horse. I think he can only keep going on and improving after that. Top Rating was a terrific run by Melbourne Cup point of view, and also Paris Lane, where you can't take anything away from him. He's a terrific horse, and he's going to be there on Tuesday.
Yeah, he certainly will be. Peter's very closely watching the monitor there to see what's going to transpire here, and of course we have no idea, but we've not got much time left on air, so we'll have to get out of here pretty shortly.
Alf Matthews there, and he'll wait for Mark Miller to come in too, and both sides of the story will be given, Tim. So the steward's facing a very big task, and of course we'll have the results in Eyewitness News coming up as soon as the results know.
Okay, let us quickly remind you, we're back here on Tuesday, of course, for Cup Day, 10 until 5. We're here on Oaks Day as well, and we're here on Finals Day, and of course Sunday Sport. You've got an hour preview of the Melbourne Cup.
Yes, we'll be dissecting the race from all angles, and hopefully we'll be able to find the winner.
From 1 o'clock, all sorts of sport, in fact, on Sunday. You'll be able to see the Giants. What a good win. The Giants basketball.
They were powerful last night.
Yeah. All right, we're back here for the Melbourne Cup on Tuesday. Make sure you're with us then, and then we return on Oaks Day. Been a pretty eventful sort of a day, this one, but from all of us here at Flemington, goodbye from Derby Day 1994. Hope you're back to winner.
Gates fly back racing in the Melbourne Cup.
The 1994 Melbourne Cup Carnival is proudly brought to you by Nissan Australia, Foster's, Qantas, Cussons Radiant Concentrate, Double AMI, Pizza Hut, and Crown.